You're listening to the House of Pain on The Fan.
You know, everyone, there is a better way to deal with pain and injury, and you can find it at the ARP Wave Clinic. The ARP Wave Clinic works on the principle that joint problems, tears, sprains, fractures, or repetitive task injuries are caused by muscles not properly absorbing all the force. Let's explain that to you. The muscles of your body are driven and controlled by electricity, and when they're injured, you develop a type of a short circuit. ARP Wave locates the actual origin of that short circuit. It's often not where you think it would be, and then rapidly repairs it all. The ARP Clinic treats the most elite athletes in the world. Imagine what the clinic could do for you, and the results are guaranteed. That's right, guaranteed. You can eliminate your pain and improve your quality of life. There is a better way to deal with pain and injury. The ARP Wave Clinic. Go to KFAN.com, keyword pain, for more on ARP Wave or ARPWave.com.
As yesterday.
Welcome back to the House of Pain. I'm the Common Man, Dan Cole, along with Dennis Thompson, who is the founder of the ARP Wave Clinic. The show is, as I say, the House of Pain. If you want more information, go to ARPWave.com. That's A-R-P, P as in Paul, ARPWave.com. If you'd like some more information about not only the ARP Wave Clinic, but just the House of Pain, the show. All the previous shows have been like 12 of them. You can get them on the website, and the phone number for the clinic is 952-431-9708. We just talked to Jay Schroeder, who works for you, who had a motorcycle mishap, we'll call it, and it was a pretty violent one, yet he's up and moving around and is almost completely 100% where he was before he had the motorcycle accident.
He's actually my partner, and we work together. And Jay writes all of the strength rehabilitation protocols, and has helped me immensely. I mean, we're a heck of a team.
You also helped somebody else named TJ, a 45-year-old Asheville, North Carolina man who injured his shoulder in the military. We had a chance to talk to him, and you've worked with him.
Yes.
And we asked him to tell us about his first experience with the ARP Wave Clinic.
Well, I flew from Asheville, North Carolina, all the way up to Minneapolis to see them, and I was really skeptical, didn't believe that they could do anything. I'd seen every doctor, and in fact, I've been to Duke Medical Center, and they were at the point where they were going to cut my arm off because I'd lost total use of my right arm. I was in chronic pain. I was taking so much medication, almost $1,800 of medication every month. And when I went up there, he said, "You don't have a shoulder problem. You got a nerve, bicipial tendon out in your elbow and a nerve problem. We can fix it in 3 days."
Fix it in 3 days. They were ready to lop his arm off.
Right.
He was going to be a stand-in on the set of The Fugitive, for crying out loud, is what they were going to do. Well, what did...
He had the same thing you had. He had exactly the same thing you had, only he had it for 20 years. Remember when I told you that if we didn't address what you had, that you would have eventually a thing called adhesive capsulitis? Well, that's exactly what he had.
We asked TJ to explain how long he lived with the pain from this injury.
25 years. At the end, I was only able to sleep an hour a night. I was in so much pain. I was ready to die. I just literally wanted to lay down and die. I didn't want to live anymore. I was in so much pain, and no medication could touch it. And when I went up there, I laughed at him. I thought he was crazier than a bag of rocks. But, I said, what have I got to lose? I'm here. So, sure enough, after the first session, I had full range of motion, and the pain was drastically reduced. And for the first time in a long time, I slept that night.
Slept first time in a long time.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was telling me that, he was going through all sorts of sleep deprivation, and the medication was really getting to him, and he was very, very depressed, and it was an interesting situation. And when I told him, I said, you don't have a shoulder problem. That's where the problem ended up, but that's not your problem.
Well, he said he thought you were crazy, or what is it?
A bag of rocks.
A bag of rocks. maybe than a Minnesota loon. I don't know about a bag of rocks. We then asked him how his lifestyle's changed since he began using the ARP Wave technology back in September.
Well, I'm off all the medication. My serotonin level's back to normal. I feel like I did when I was in the military when I was 20. I've dropped weight. I've gotten back in shape. I feel great.
Pretty amazing story.
Yeah, and that's what makes this all so exciting, is that the body will automatically repair itself given the proper stimulus. And Jay and I have created a method to create that proper stimulus to allow the body to do what it's supposed to do.
We had a final follow-up question for TJ, and that was we asked him about the kind of treatments that he does on a daily basis.
I don't have to. I usually in the morning I'll loosen my body, or if I'm going to work, I'll loosen my body. But I don't have to treat my arm again unless I've just overworked it. I don't really have to do anything with it. I just loosen and recover muscles when I work.
You know, that's the same with me because I had, like you say, I had the problem he had, not as severe, obviously.
Correct.
And I did the 2 weeks with you, then the 33 days. Mm-hmm. And then since then, I've continued to play golf. Mm-hmm. And you talk about, being the pain-free. You talk about the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being excruciating, you want to die kind of pain, to 1 or 2 where it's very livable.
Right.
I went to 1 or 2 for a long time. And I can say over the past 2 weeks now, I rarely feel a thing in my elbow, even while playing. Once in a while, if I hit really hard on a shot and kind of get some vibration because I maybe hit a poor shot and I dug deep into a divot, I'll feel a twinge, but it goes away. And the soreness that I was sometimes feeling right after I played, and just for a short period of time, just sore, not real pain, but just kind of sore like it needed to be, it goes away. And I'm not experiencing that now for this entire week.
Right. Yeah. And that's what you should expect. But people, when you hear about, it's guaranteed to be pain-free. When we're saying that, basically we're saying we're guaranteeing that you're going to be able to have a quality of life that you deserve and won't have to restrict any activity whatsoever. You can do almost anything. We let our professional athletes, and I think Jay will verify this, we let our professional athletes compete at a level of 1 or 2. Anything above that, we don't let them compete. And it's our job to make sure they don't have pain above 2.
Now, you have a special offer for the listener, something that you've been doing for several weeks now.
Right. And based on what they've just heard right now, it's absolutely too good to be true. So to prove that to them, what we say to you is, look, whether you're in the city or out of the city, if you're in the city, we invite you into the clinic. We'll evaluate you. We'll treat you one time to demonstrate that we are for real. We can help you. And at the end of that first treatment, then you make the decision whether you want to go into a treatment program or not. Now, if you live outside of the city, it's inconvenient for you to get to us, you're bedridden, whatever the situation is, we treat people all over the world. So we'll send one of the ARPs, just like you have and like you use, we'll send one of those out along with a webcam. We'll lock up 1 hour of our therapist's time. We'll treat them at absolutely no cost, no obligation, just to demonstrate that it isn't too good to be true.
You have to remind me because I always forget. It's the ARP Wave. It's the same thing as they do with the crew, the ones that drive around. You call them
the ARP Squad.
The squad, right? The ARP Squad. The ARP Squad will come right to your home.
Absolutely. Or your office.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, didn't you say, you told me that thing in a previous show, that you also do where you make an offer to companies if you'd like them to take a look at their employees and see what kind of condition they're in, and you'll do that as well.
Yeah, we'll come out and we'll evaluate the entire staff and tell that employer who's at risk of being injured who already is injured. And we've cleared it with OSHA to where that does not become a recordable. So if we find somebody before they hit the recordable rolls and treat them, it is not a recordable. And to an employer, that means a lot.
That's as you say, it's a real bonus for any company.
Huge bonus.
Here's what you do. If you have more questions or would like some more information, this is what you need to do. You call 952-431-9708. 952-431-9708, or go to arpwave.com. That's ARPwave.com. ARPP as in Paul, wave.com. If you'd like to hear previous shows, go to that same website. They have all the shows to date on the clinic website. On one of the shows, we also actually did we did some video with it as well when we had one of the listeners come in, and you actually diagnosed and treated him here in our studio. Right. Of course, he was laying on a cold marble bed, which wasn't the most comfortable. But is that video still available on the website? It still is available.
And there's a classic example. Here's a guy with severe back pain, hip pain, and it's coming from his ankle.
Yeah, it was coming from his ankle.
Coming from his ankle.
And he did not know it.
He did not know.
But he does now. Let's do this. We'll take a break. When we come back for our last segment, we'll go through some of the questions that some of the emailers